Welcome to Hot Takes from Title Talks, where we share the biggest stories in the industry that you need to know about. I'm Lindsay Gordon.
And I'm Becky Abbott.
So let's dive into the first story that we have for today. Realtor.com recently shared some statistics about home inventory, and we're at the highest level that we've been at for 4 years. The last time we were at this level was August of 2020, which is crazy. 2020 does not feel like 4 years ago.
It really doesn't.
No, but, yeah, I overall, I think it's good news. I know, last time or maybe the time before you and I were talking, we were talking about how in the South, there seems to be a lot more inventory, a lot more people, putting their homes on the market, and it's kind of affecting how long they're on the market and, like, people are having to, like, lower prices, but, the statistic is that we're at 35% over 2023. So our inventory is up 35% from last year, which is quite a big increase. And specifically in the South, it's up 43%. So we see that,
Right.
indicative of like there being more inventory on the market in the southern part of the US. So, with rates remaining kind of stagnant and there's just like people who are ready to move, people who are ready to list. So in some ways it might be better for buyers, but with rates still so high and prices still so high, it's kind of
I know.
causing a bit of a stalling effect.
Exactly. I was going to say it's definitely good. We want there to be opportunity for people to have homes to move into if there's a specific area that they're trying to go. But it's also not great for the economy to have all of this space sitting and waiting to be sold to the lucky buyers that come along. But one of the things that's even more concerning is this climb in fraud and forgery. I know it's been a hot topic in the industry actually for the last couple of years now. ALTA just introduced a case study on fraud and forgery, claiming that 1/5 of the total dollars spent by title insurers on claims and expenses and losses over the past decade have been from fraud and forgery, which is crazy because if you look at I mean, they're saying the last decade, but if you look at the climb in fraud and forgery, even just over the last 3 years, I think the average would be a lot higher in terms of the funds lost if we were looking at the shorter period of time. And unfortunately, the trajectory is going in that direction. It definitely seems like it's not all just digital either. I mean, check fraud is coming back, and banks are having to put together new processes for reviewing the checks to ensure that they're not fraudulent. AI exists, seller impersonation. It's like whether it's a voice or it's a deep fake where you're acting as someone you're not. These things are getting really hard to discover. People are, refinancing right after seller impersonation fraud just to capture money and get the equity out of the home. It's really scary. It's very scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say that same study from Alta was showing that like these fraud and forgery claims also not only are they so prevalent, but they're way more expensive than like a traditional title claim. I think that it was saying that like an average claim is around like $26,000, but a claim from fraud and forgery averages like $143,000, so like multiple times more expensive. So it's just like really goes to show just what a massive impact these attacks are having on the industry and how much more expensive it is for underwriters and then the individual agents who are having to carry additional policies, and just kind of have to fight these. It's just like the cost of doing business is getting much higher for
Oh, yeah.
independent agencies.
Some of these agencies can't afford something like this happening to them. Unfortunately, it could really impact your business. But I mean, one, I think that it just goes to show how important it is that you are getting protection on your home. You are having these policies in place and utilizing a real estate attorney or a title agent who have the foundation to protect you. And they're doing the proper searching to try to avoid this altogether. But what's crazy too is as a title agent, I've spoken to a couple of people in the industry who have experienced this. We were just at ALTA Advocacy a couple of weeks ago. I know we discussed it, but one of the questions in the room was how many people in the last 30 days have experienced seller impersonation fraud? And I shit you not, like 85 to 90% of the room raised their hands. And I'm pretty sure the ones that weren't raising their hands weren't title agents or real estate attorneys. It's
We're
almost
handling closings,
100%
yeah.
in the last 30 days. And some of these people have claimed that, they've got $150,000 claim. And sometimes the agent sits there and goes, well, gosh, our insurance rates might go up so high if we attempt to get this covered, or maybe it won't even be covered. Sometimes they take into consideration the larger companies that are capable of doing this. Would it be worth it for them to just pay that out versus to have that
Yeah.
reputation? I mean, this has really posed some serious challenges on the industry.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's all that we have for this week. But if you don't already subscribe to Title Talks, you'll get hot takes every week. So go ahead and make sure that you follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And we'll be back next week with a new episode of Title Talks.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.